TIL the Colorado River doesn't make it to the ocean anymore since 1960, with rare brief exceptions. Pertinent passage from the link. Due to water diversions, flows at the mouth of the river have steadily declined since the early 1900s. Since 1960, the Colorado has typically dried up before reaching the sea, with the exception of a few wet years. In addition to water consumption, flows have declined due to evaporation from reservoirs and warming temperatures that reduce winter snow accumulation. Several of the Colorado's major tributaries, including the Gila River, also no longer reach the Colorado due to upstream diversions. So I had to trace this out for myself using Google Maps in satellite mode. Looks like it ends in a patchwork farmland between Mexicali, Mexico and the Salton Sea in California. Kinda sad that the mighty Colorado ends in a concrete irrigation ditch in the middle of desert farmland. I could be wrong about this if anyone wants to check my work. Although Leopold wrote about the Colorado River Delta in a Sand County Almanac. It sounds like it was a wonderful place, full of life. Totally dead now. That water is now used for farming in the desert, largely animal feed, not human food, and growing lawns and golf courses in dry places in Arizona and California. Wow, that's wild. Looked at it on Google Maps and sure enough, wide river gets smaller and smaller as you go, and then all of a sudden, just sand and a few standing puddles. Really sad that America takes what it wants and Mexico just gets to have a bunch of sand that gets wet sometimes. And this asshole wants to build a massive city in the desert, when literally all the water is used up already. Here's one for you: the Rio Grande River rises in Colorado, flows through New Mexico and forms a Texas-Mexico border on its way to the Gulf. But for parts of the year a significant stretch of the riverbed in West Texas is bone dry. Drove through the Imperial Valley a couple of days ago. It's crazy how much agriculture is done in an area totally surrounded by the most barren desert you'll ever see. All thanks to irrigation being pulled in from the Colorado River. Continued reading. However, a scheme is currently in place which aims to rejuvenate the wetlands by releasing a pulse of water down the river delta. 3. People, don't you know that the Colorado stops short just before the ocean? And won't it be weird when the dust storms appear, and all life is obliterated? Dear Nora, May, it's okay, doesn't need to. Let's just keep pulling water from it, and with some luck we can turn it from the mighty Colorado River to there might be a Colorado River. Yeah! That's why Mexico's agriculture and fishery has been suffering for decades. They did release enough to make it to the ocean a few years ago as an experiment. Not to one up, and I moved to Albuquerque and greatly disappointed with the tiny Rio Grande. These days just 20 of the water makes it to the Gulf of Mexico. Follow the Colorado River on Google Maps and see how it shallows and narrows until it is just a dry riverbed down south where the water used to reach. SMH, I know bail-ins are important, but shouldn't we be trying to use a significant amount of fresh water from rivers before they are discharged into the ocean? Desert Solitaire has a chapter about this. Made the Delta seem absolutely magical. Highly recommend that book. In Sand County Almanac. Water rights are no joke. A country like Sudan could completely cripple Egypt if it were to divert or dam the Nile within its borders. Lake Powell was made around this time to provide water to southern basin states. Not a very alarming headline. You can see where it dies that time when image was taken. Stupid question, but why is it important to feed into the ocean? Does that help the ecosystem in some way? We really need to find a way to economically desalinate seawater and start pumping that around the US. I'm slightly shocked to learn that the Colorado River still even makes it to the border of Colorado. Long ago a guy tried to canoe the length of to the ocean. He didn't make it. It was so dried up. That's what happens when you license more water rights than the Colorado River has water. Colorado should get dibs on the whole deal and make those other dusty states suck it. Alexander the Great rides to it once a month and his army drinks the river dry again. Too bad there's not a huge sediment deposit from this epic erosion event. But the ocean levels keep falling. Why not let the water into the ocean? Yet we keep flooding the US Southwest with more people every year. Ends right near here. Isn't it going to go dry pretty soon from people using it? Yeah, people in Phoenix need that water for their lawns.